Welcome back to the Westmoreland Sports Network for our Recruiting Thursday feature, brought to you by Sendell Volkswagen in Greensburg. We would love to meet you. Jack Ridenour here with you, and today we have the pleasure of being joined by Greater Latrobe football player and recent Penn State football commit, Alex Tatsch. Alex, first off, my friend, thanks so much for joining us today. Congratulations on the recent commitment. How does this feel to have this college process kind of put to the side now, and you can now just focus on finishing your career out at Latrobe?
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, it's it's kind of like a weight lifted off your shoulders almost. You can now set your priorities straight and focus on um your your team and your own personal health and goals. Now that you are done with that process, it just makes it easier for that type of thing. And um, knowing and also making a decision that you feel great about also feels good. So that's kind of where I'm at now.
Well, I'm definitely certain of it's probably like a big weight lifted off your shoulder. So I'm sure that
Yeah.
you're probably very pleased with that. But I want to get into what led you to committing to Penn State because you had pretty much every big time school you could think of calling you. So what was it about Penn State, the school, the program that ultimately drew you there?
Um, there's a lot of things. But if I were to tell you the things, just to start off, the relationships I have with the coaches on the team, like they weren't a team that just offered me just to offer me. Like I went up there earlier in the spring, and they uh they they didn't offer me right away, so I went up there again. We kept building a relationship, and I started to get really comfortable there, and knew most of the coaches, and uh especially their linebacker coach, Dan Carr. Well, he's not the linebacker coach, but he's their main coach for linebackers. Him and the DC Tom Allen. Um, I have a really good connection with those guys. And then other things about it, just it's close to home, which is nice. Family can come see you play. The kids on the team, I think it's a great fit for me. A bunch of kids from this area, PA, Virginia, New Jersey, that type of area, and just the tradition as a whole of that program. It's just a great program historically, and they're going to win football games for sure.
And yeah, you mentioned, I mean, the history behind Penn State football. I mean, it's synonymous with success at the college football level, but I'm sure that there were probably some other schools that were down to your final couple, choices, if you will, with Penn State. What were those other schools that were in the mix with Penn State?
Um, West Virginia, another close school. They kind of were the first Power Five school to offer me, and I saw them all the time. Like um, we had a little bit of a connection there with one of our coaches, and I knew him pretty well. They were probably one of the next teams I would have looked to, and you know I I I talked to the West Coast teams a lot too, like USC and Stanford, and I never visited. I just knew a place out that far away wasn't gonna be for me, but I did like them a lot, especially the Stanford coach. He was great. Then Notre Dame was an offer that I wanted for some time, but I already had my mind set on Penn State, and I was ready to commit a bunch of times before I even did. So I finally just got it done, and I'm happy with it. So I don't regret my choice at all.
Well, I want to get into this process as a whole with you because you had so much buzz and attention around you during your recruiting. You had Lincoln Riley flying in from USC. You had James Franklin coming in on a helicopter. I mean, what was this all like to kind of go through and experience with, you being kind of the center of the attention?
It was nice for a while, but it's not my favorite thing to be. It's nice, but I don't. I like the attention's nice, but sometimes it's not for me. I just want to play football. The glamour of it is cool, but I'd rather just play football and worry about football than where I'm going next to visit. So it was cool for a time, but it gets to be a lot.
Well, you're a smart man. You're, focus on the task at hand, playing football, like you mentioned. But I want to also kind of touch on, when this attention started to rise for you. So when did you start getting all of this, attention, all of these coaches calling you? When did it start to really take
Mhm.
off?
Um, well, it started so after my sophomore season, I had two schools offer me after watching my sophomore film. My sophomore film was okay, um, but I guess they saw the potential. And then about 3 weeks into the regular season of last year, I had a couple nice plays, and I put them together in a little tape, and my coach sent it out to a bunch of schools, and then got some big schools to show interest, and then it kind of just took off from there.
Well, you're another member of the WPIAL that will be staying local, playing in an in-state school. What does that say, do you think, about the players coming out of this area, coming out of the WPIAL, and just your willingness to be loyal to the schools that are in state?
Um, yeah, I mean, there's definitely great kids that come out of this area, and it starts to get overlooked now by, like the southern schools where their kids are playing all year round and they got their 7-on-7 stuff. But um, no, I think there's a lot of good kids in this area, especially Western PA. And it makes it easy staying close because just the loyalty that these in-state schools have to kids here, especially Penn State. Like you look every year, they take quite a few kids from PA and the Whippeal in general. It's just a cool like bond you can have with those guys.
Now, have you thought about maybe early enrolling next year at all? I mean, has that crossed your mind? I mean, do you have any plans of doing that for next year?
Yeah, it's definitely crossed my mind. But that's a decision I still have to make. But I play basketball too, so that's what would be stopping me from doing that. But it's still something I have to think about. I'm not ready to make a decision on that yet.
Well, you mentioned that you're a basketball player, so playing, different sports, I'm sure, has helped you out in football. How has playing a variety of sports and just kind of different movements helped you out in your football career?
I mean, with basketball especially, first off, if you playing more than one sport, you don't always train the same muscles all the time, so you're using different muscles during basketball season, different during football. It's a good balance between them, and then some of it correlates, like with the jumping in basketball helps with your explosion in footballs, um and then the conditioning from it helps for football too, quite honestly. But yeah, I think playing more than one sport has helped me a lot, and I do a lot of it with other guys on the football team too, which is pretty cool. So we all have that. We're seeing each other all year round, so it's a nice bond we have.
Absolutely. And you guys get to have all sorts of fun memories on the bus throughout all different seasons, which is very cool too. But I know that
Yeah.
you're not able to play basketball this year. You're nursing your shoulder, coming back from shoulder surgery. So what has that been like, and just what does the rehab process look like for you over the last few months?
Yeah. Yeah, I just got my sling off today, actually, so I'm starting rehab now. It'll take some time, but you know, getting it done before. So I didn't know whether to play basketball or not, so I got it done now. Just because it's just if I would have waited, it would have been going into the season not even cleared yet. So getting it done now, I don't miss too much because I'll be able to start running in about another month, and the actual activity of it I'll start be able to do. And I won't miss too much of the padded season when we start up because I'll be cleared probably by summer. So I'm not missing much, and it's just a good thing to get done now so it doesn't linger into the season.
Well, you're wise to take care of that now, and like you said, don't allow that to kind of linger around, hang around, and then before you know it, it's too late to try and do anything about it. So smart on you for doing that. But I want to get into this past season with you and especially with your Latrobe team, because under the guidance of a new head coach in Ron Prady, and there just completely has been a turnaround in the program. What kind of role and impact has Coach Prady had on that turnaround for Greater Latrobe football?
Yeah, Coach Brady's been great, honestly. I think he just brings, he came from a winning program in Penn Trafford. He came right after they won the state championship. He just brings the culture towards the team, just the winning culture and the hard work and dedication to our program, and you can just see it with the amount of kids that want to play now. After watching what we've done these past 2 years, and I think we just got to keep setting the bar higher and higher for ourselves. And I see our expectations being a lot higher this season than last season, and for each year to come. So yeah, I think Coach Brady's been great, honestly, and he's definitely helped me as a player. And he's helped me. He's helped a lot of us in the college run of things too.
Well, I'm glad that you bring up this past season and especially how close you guys were to really kind of pushing through that barrier, because you guys got so close to beating Aliquippa, and a team that everybody in the WPIAL is very familiar with and how good they are as a team. But how much confidence did that loss kind of give your team, especially heading into this upcoming season, knowing that you guys are so close to being kind of in that upper echelon of football teams?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just shows you, that team goes on to win the state championship. Like, we can compete with anybody. I just think it was like that, and we were under the radar then because we didn't start out the best, but as the season went on, we just got better and better each week, and we're gonna try and carry that over to start next season where we left off, and get better and better, and then time to go to playoffs. Like, we'll be ready, and I think we're ready to take that step, getting past the second round of playoffs and getting to the Whitfield Championship. So I think we're taking steps each year, and this is a great time. We got great players on the team. This next year should be a great year for us.
Well, Alex, it's been great to have you join us for Recruiting Thursday this week and spend a little bit of time talking about your commitment. Before we let you run, I want to hear from you. I know that you still have another year ahead of you at Greater Latrobe, but as your time winds down with the Wildcats, what kind of legacy do you hope that you'll leave behind for the football program and in the community overall as you start to move towards getting to Penn State?
That's a good question. Yeah, I just want to be remembered as a great football player, obviously, but just is a good person too in the school and with all the teachers and everything. Like, just want to leave a great representation of how our football program should be. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I want we want to. Me and my buddies, we want to leave a big mark on the program and win something that our team hasn't done before.
Well, I think you're well on your way to doing that, my friend. And again, thanks so much for stopping by today. Congratulations on the recent commitment, and good luck heading into the offseason with basketball and football. And before you know it, for next fall for the football season as well.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
That's Penn State football commit Alex Tatsch, as always. Thanks so much for joining us for another Recruiting Thursday feature brought to you by Sendell Volkswagen in Greensburg. We would love to meet you. Make sure you check out our other Recruiting Thursday features that are available on our YouTube channel. And as always, this is Jack Ridenour signing off, never saying a goodbye, just a see you later, right here and only on the Westmoreland Sports Network.